Hi, I'm Layla. After 35 years of changing bedpans and dealing with doctors' God complexes at Memorial Hospital, I finally retired last year. My nursing pension isn't much, but it's mine. Just like this little two-bedroom house that I scraped and saved for while raising my son Jacob alone. I still remember the day Richard walked out. Jacob was only 7. I came home from a double shift to find a note on the fridge. Can't do this anymore. Don't try to find me. That's it. 20 years of marriage summed up in 8 words. The bank account drained. Credit cards maxed out. My best friend Maria came over that night with a bottle of wine and helped me pick up the pieces. He was always a selfish jerk, Layla. You're better off without him. You and Jacob both. How am I going to do this alone? I can barely cover rent. One day at a time, honey. And you're not alone. I'm right here. That was 23 years ago. Maria never left my side. She was there through all the parent-teacher conferences I attended solo, the 3 jobs I worked to pay for Jacob's college applications, and every Christmas when I'd skip buying myself anything so he could have the latest game console or designer clothes. My brother Daniel would visit from Chicago twice a year. He'd always bring gifts for Jacob, but never quite warmed to him. Something's off about that kid, Layla. The way he talks to you, it's not right. He's just going through a phase. All teenagers are difficult. It's more than that. He doesn't appreciate a damn thing you do for him. I'd always defend Jacob. What mother wouldn't? But deep down, I knew Daniel was seeing something I didn't want to admit. Fast forward to now. Jacob is 30, has an MBA, and runs his own investment firm. He married Elise 2 years ago. Beautiful girl, quiet type. They have a modern downtown condo and matching luxury cars. On paper, my son is successful. The kind of success I killed myself to make possible. But every phone call starts with what I've done wrong. Every visit ends with me feeling smaller. Last Thanksgiving, I used the wrong napkins. At Christmas, my gift was thoughtless. On his birthday, I embarrassed him by mentioning his childhood nickname. The phone rings. It's Jacob. I take a deep breath before answering. Mom, I need to talk to you about something important. It's about your retirement fund. What about it, honey? I've got this incredible opportunity. Ground floor investment, guaranteed returns. But I need capital now. My stomach tightens. I don't know, Jacob. That money is all I have. Are you serious right now? After everything I've done for you? This could set us both up for life? I just need to think about it. What's there to think about? This is a no-brainer. I need an answer by tomorrow. I'm coming over with Elise to explain the details. Have your account information ready. He hangs up before I can respond. My hands are shaking as I dial Maria's number. Maria? He's asking for my retirement money. All of it. I spent the whole morning cleaning before Jacob and Elise arrived. Scrubbed the bathroom, vacuumed twice, even put out those fancy little soaps nobody's supposed to actually use. As if my home's appearance would somehow make Jacob treat me better. The doorbell rang at exactly noon. Jacob doesn't do late. Mom, place looks... He scanned my living room, frowning at the worn sofa. Well, you tried. Elise handed me a small gift bag. I brought you those herbal teas you liked last time. Thanks, sweetie. That's thoughtful. We sat around my small dining table where I'd laid out sandwiches and iced tea. Jacob pulled out his laptop before even touching his food. So here's the investment breakdown. My firm is positioned to acquire a tech startup that's developing AI solutions for healthcare. With your retirement fund as capital, we could... How much exactly are you asking for, Jacob? He stared at me like I'd asked him to explain quantum physics. All of it, obviously. The minimum buy-in is substantial. My hands fidgeted with my napkin. That's everything I have. It's just sitting there losing value. This would triple your money in 18 months. What if it doesn't? I don't have time to start over if... Jacob slammed his hand on the table, making the glasses jump. Jesus Christ, Mom. Do you think I'd steer you wrong? This is what I do for a living. Elise stared at her plate, her knuckles white around her fork. I just need some time to think about it. Maybe talk to my financial advisor. Financial advisor? You mean that community college dropout at the bank? What does he know compared to me? I took a deep breath. It's my money, Jacob. I worked 3 decades for it. His face darkened. After everything I've done for you, all the times I've fixed your problems, paid for dinners, bought you that TV you couldn't afford? I never asked you to. You're just dead weight, Mom. A financial burden I've been carrying for years. Everyone says so. The room went silent. I looked at Elise, hoping she'd say something. Anything. She just kept staring at her untouched sandwich. I think you should leave, I whispered. Fine. Call me when you're ready to stop being selfish. Jacob grabbed his keys and stormed out. Elise followed, mouthing sorry, as she closed the door. I sat there for hours until my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Layla. It's Richard. My ex-husband's voice after all these years nearly knocked me off my chair. How did you get this number? Daniel gave it to me. I know this is out of the blue, but I need to talk to you about Jacob. He came to me asking for money, said his business was in trouble. What? His business is doing great. He wants my retirement for some hot investment. That's not... Look, can we meet? There's a lot you should know. After hanging up, I called Daniel. You gave Richard my number? After everything he did? Listen to what he has to say, sis. I've been digging into Jacob's business. Those fancy cars, that downtown condo, it's all smoke and mirrors. What are you saying? I'm saying our nephew has been lying to everyone, and it's time you stopped being his ATM and started being his mother. I met Richard at a diner 2 towns over. After 30 years, my ex-husband looked older but still had that charming smile that once swept me off my feet. Only now I could see right through it. Thanks for meeting me, Layla. I know I'm the last person you'd want to see. Cut the small talk. What do you know about Jacob? Richard slid a folder across the table. 6 months ago, he approached me for a business loan. When I asked questions, he got defensive, so I hired someone to look into his company. Inside were bank statements, credit reports, and business filings. Jacob's investment firm was drowning in debt. The flashy office, leased and 3 months behind on payments. His client list, half of them had pulled their investments. Why would he come to me for retirement money if his business is failing? Because he's not using it for business. Look at the last page. A mortgage application for a vacation home in the Hamptons, in Jacob's name only, not Elise's. I drove home in a daze and pulled out an old notebook. For the next 3 days, I wrote down every incident I could remember. The Christmas he made me cry because the sweater I bought him wasn't the right brand. The time he borrowed my credit card for emergencies and maxed it out on golf clubs. The countless times he'd make me wait for hours because something more important came up. Maria came over with takeout and wine on the 3rd night. I found something you should see. She pulled up her phone. My niece works at that country club Jacob joined last year. Look what she recorded. A video of Jacob at a dinner party. My mom? Yeah, she's losing it. Had to take her keys last month after she sideswiped a car. Keeps calling me for money, too. It's sad, really. I nearly dropped the phone. I've never sideswiped anything in my life, and I've never asked him for a dime. There's more. He's been telling the same stories to your cousins. Sarah called me last week asking if you needed to move to assisted living. The next morning, I texted Elise. Need to talk. Alone, please. We met at a cafe across town. Elise's eyes were red from crying. I've wanted to reach out for so long, Layla. Jacob checks my phone, monitors my spending. I can't breathe without him knowing. How bad is it at home? He controls everything. The money, where I go, who I talk to. Last month, I visited my sister without telling him. He canceled all my credit cards as punishment. I reached for her hand. Why stay? Where would I go? My name's not on anything. The prenup he made me sign. She wiped away tears. But I've been documenting everything just in case. That afternoon, I called Daniel. I need your help planning something. About time, sis. What do you have in mind? A family dinner, reconciliation. I want everyone there. You, Maria, Richard, Jacob, and Elise. Even Aunt Betty and Uncle Frank. Sounds like a terrible idea. I'm in. I'll need your help setting everything up. And Daniel, bring your projector. I hung up and drafted a text to Jacob. I've been thinking about what you said. You're right. I've been selfish. I'd like to make it up to you. Family dinner, my place, Saturday at 7. I'll have the retirement paperwork ready. His reply came instantly. Glad you finally came to your senses. We'll be there. I smiled for the first time in days. Saturday couldn't come soon enough. Saturday evening, my dining room looked like Thanksgiving, and a board meeting had a baby. Daniel set up his projector while Maria arranged extra chairs. Richard arrived early, looking nervous. You sure about this, Layla? Jacob isn't going to take this well. I've taken enough from him. It's time. Aunt Betty and Uncle Frank arrived next, followed by Elise and Jacob. He walked in like he owned the place, kissing my cheek with that fake smile. Everything smells great, Mom. You went all out. So, where are those papers we discussed? After dinner, honey. Let's enjoy the food first. Throughout the meal, Jacob charmed everyone with stories about his business successes and future plans. I stayed quiet, watching Elise push food around her plate. When dessert was served, Jacob cleared his throat. So, Mom has some exciting news about how she's helping support my latest venture. Actually, I stood up. I do have news, but not what you're expecting. Daniel, would you mind? The lights dimmed as the projector flickered on. First slide, Jacob's text messages to me over the past year. The demands, the insults, the manipulation. What is this? Jacob jumped up. Mom's been having memory problems lately. Sit down, Daniel growled. We're just getting started. Next slides, bank records showing Jacob's failing business, the mortgage application, the country club video. Aunt Betty gasped. You said Layla was going senile? I've never asked you for money, I said calmly. Not once in 23 years. I worked 3 jobs to put you through college. I skipped meals so you could have new clothes. And how did you repay me? By calling me dead weight. Mom, I was angry. I didn't mean, save it, I'm not finished. I nodded to Elise, who pulled out her phone and played a recording of Jacob planning how to get my retirement money. You even coached her on what to say to make me feel guilty. Was anything ever real with you? Jacob's face went from red to white. This is ridiculous. Elise, tell them. Elise stood up, trembling. I filed for separation yesterday. I'm staying with my sister. You what? I've emptied our joint account, my salary that you've been controlling, and I've given copies of everything to Layla. Jacob lunged toward her, but Richard and Daniel blocked him. Here's what's happening, I said. I'm cutting you off, completely. No money, no emotional support, no more chances. The retirement fund you wanted? I've used it to establish the Second Chance Foundation for single parents. You can't do this. I'm your son. Not anymore. You're just dead weight. Uncle Frank stood up. I think it's time for you to leave, boy. After Jacob stormed out, everyone gathered around me. Maria squeezed my hand. I've never been prouder of you. 3 months later, my life looks completely different. Elise and I meet weekly for coffee. She's thriving in her new apartment and job. Daniel moved closer to help with the foundation. Even Richard contributes, his way of making amends. Yesterday, a letter arrived from Jacob's new address, a much smaller apartment across town. I recognized his handwriting, the desperate plea for forgiveness inside. I dropped it in the shredder without reading past the first line. Some people call it harsh. I call it freedom. After decades of putting everyone else first, I finally chose myself. No more dead weight dragging me down. Just peace, genuine relationships, and the sweet satisfaction of knowing I finally stood my ground. What would you have done in Layla's position? Would you have completely cut your child off after years of manipulation? Or would you have given them one more chance? The line between family loyalty and self-respect can be incredibly thin. Where do you draw yours? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story of standing up to toxic relationships, hit that like button and subscribe for more compelling stories that make you think. Your support helps this channel grow.